With a budget of 150,000 naira, there are a couple phones that you could get. One of such phones is this, the Infinix Hot 50i. Today we'll be finding out if you should get it. Now, you might not buy a phone specifically because of its design, but it's still an important factor. From the comments I got from this phone's unboxing, I think it's safe to say that the 50i looks good. I got the titanium grey color, and as you can see, most of the rear is in this lighter shade of grey, while the camera module seems to be darker. It looks simple, it looks clean, it's also matte, which is great, I like it. Now, this might be the first time I'm seeing this, but in the camera module, you'll notice that we get two flashlights. One is a bit widespread, and the other is a bit more focused. I hope that made sense. Another thing that we get two of is speakers. The 50i comes with dual speakers, and this isn't something that is very common in this price range. On the right, you'd find the power and volume buttons. Yes, the power button is also the fingerprint sensor. And then on the left, you'd find the tray that houses your two SIM cards and SD card. Still on the hardware, the Infinix Hot 50i comes with an IP54 rating. So in the event that you do get a bit of water splashed on this, you'd be fine. This again is another feature that is not common in this price range. If it wasn't clear already, the hardware of this phone is quite impressive. Now let's talk display. Infinix made this phone bigger. It's now 6.7 inches from 6.5 inches. I know that some people would like this change, but I don't. I like small phones. Just like the 40i, the 50i comes with a hole punch cutout and a 720p LCD display. This is typically what we get at this price point. I don't think there's any other phone that gives more. So this is fine. For its refresh rate, we get 120 Hz. That's an upgrade from the 40i's 90 Hz display. Now, because of the whole saga with the Redmi 14C, just to be sure, I ran a live refresh rate test on the 50i. And yeah, the display was actually refreshing at 120 Hz most of the time. I also want to point out that this comes with an always-on display. And I know what you're thinking, isn't that a feature just for AMOLED displays? Well, I don't know how they did it, but yeah, they did it. For its processor, the 50i is using the Helio G81 chipset. This is the same chipset on the Redmi 14C and the Spark 30C. It's kind of the popular choice for this price segment. As expected, it'll be able to handle all of your basic smartphone needs. Texting, calling, social media, a little bit of multitasking, and even a bit of gaming. A little bit. So no, this is not a gaming phone, but it can play games. Here in Nigeria, we only get the variant with 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. For the basics, this is fine. 4 gigs is enough to handle all of that. And then for storage, 128 gigs is also enough. So yeah, performance is decent. Yes, it would occasionally stutter or lag. Yes, you would experience frame drops when playing heavy games, but that is to be expected for phones at this price point. I would say though that because of its 120Hz refresh rate, the phone does feel kind of faster. Kind of. Audu in his video said that the cameras of this phone might be the reason to get this phone. And I think I agree. The 50i has a 48 megapixel main sensor. When given sufficient light, it should deliver good looking photos. What I noticed is there's a lot of processing going on. Sometimes it nails it and the pictures are lovely, and then some other times it doesn't. So you might want to take a couple extra photos, just to be sure. But even with all that said, I think these actually might be the best cameras for its price. This is it compared to the Galaxy A06, which I thought would have the better camera. But yeah, this I think clearly wins. Videos, on the other hand, don't look as good as photos. It has this over-sharpened look, and it also doesn't have stabilization. But in summary, photos, really good, videos, not so much. The Hot 50i has a 5000 mAh battery. Yes, it would last you the entire day, unless you're trying to kill it. When I streamed a 1-hour episode of a show, this lost 13%. Doing some quick math and estimation, this would last for about 7.5 hours if you're streaming content. But if you're not doing that and you're using your phone a bit more moderately, this definitely would last you the whole day. You would only worry about charging at night. Speaking of charging, Infinix included an 18-watt charger in the box. It's not the fastest, and frankly, I didn't actually test it, but it should take somewhere around 2+ hours. I don't know, it's just one of those phones that you plug in at night and, don't think about till the morning. Out the box, this comes with XOS version 14.5, which is based on Android 14. What I like about this software is that you still get most of the typical features that the more expensive phones get. Not all of them, but a lot of them, which is good. The one thing I would like them to do, besides removing all the bloatware, is to offer 1 or maybe 2 years of OS updates. I know that they give security patches, but like actual major OS updates, that would be cool. I think that's the only thing that's really lacking. Everything else looks good. Its display is probably the best you get for its price. Same can be said about its performance and cameras. And then it has a battery that would last the entire day, for most people. When compared to the competition, this actually ranks pretty high. It has a real shot at being the best phone to buy for under 150k. Its only drawback is the fact that you're probably not getting any major OS updates. But I would say, even with that, this is still one to consider. That's it. Those are my thoughts on the Infinix Hot 50i. Let me know what you guys think of it down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you when you see me.